Rex Racer spent his entire life protecting his little brother from a world Speed never knew existed. The 2008 Wachowski film puts it on record: a fixed racing industry, a corporate cartel, and a man who refused to comply and paid for that refusal with everything he had. By the time we're through, you won't just understand what Racer X did out there. You'll understand why he did it the way he did, and you may find that the man behind the mask made every single correct call. There is a moment in this story, documented, filmed, on record, where everything Rex Racer feared about professional racing comes true, right in front of his brother. And Speed walks straight into it because no one ever told him what was waiting. That moment is coming. Keep it in mind. Here is what Rex Racer actually knew. Beat 1. The Power and the Purpose. From the outside, Racer X looks like a problem. He appears in races that have nothing obvious to do with him. He blocks, cuts, and crowds a younger driver who hasn't done anything to deserve it. He wins when he wants to win and disappears when it suits him. He answers to no team, no sponsor, no public record. He has a name no one gave him and a face no one has seen. In competition, he drives like a man who isn't afraid to lose, because losing was never the point. Anyone watching in 1967 filed him under rival, possibly villain, definitely a threat. That is the correct reading if you have the same information Speed has. But Racer X is not operating on Speed's information. He is operating on intelligence, documented across multiple episodes of the original series, gathered through his work for an international organization running operations against the criminal syndicates that fix races, eliminate competitors, and use professional motorsport as a mechanism for organized crime. He knows which races are targeted before they start. He knows which drivers are walking into traps. He knows specifically which young driver from a small independent family team is most likely to end up dead on a circuit controlled by people who see idealism as an obstacle. That is not intuition. That is his job. So when Racer X drives hard at Speed, when he crowds the line, when he refuses to let Speed take a clean lead, there is a question the show never quite stops to answer. What is he actually doing in that race? He is not competing, he is positioned. He is there because someone with advanced knowledge of a dangerous situation has calculated that staying physically close to Speed is the only reliable way to manage the threat in real time, from inside the event, without burning the cover that makes the intelligence work possible in the first place. The man Speed calls a rival is, in measurable operational terms, his most effective protection. What looks like aggression from Speed's cockpit looks from almost any other angle like a man who can see the whole board, making sure the one piece he cares about most doesn't walk off the edge. He isn't protecting power or position. He's protecting a secret. And the secret is much older than the mask. Beat 2. The knowledge only they had.
Thanks for saving our lives, Masked Racer.
Here is the documented architecture of what Rex knew and when he knew it. Tatsuo Yoshida, the creator of Mach Go Go Go, the original 1966 manga that became Speed Racer, and the founder of Tatsunoko Production, built the dual identity into the property from the first chapter. This is confirmed in Yoshida's documented biography on the Lambiek Comiclopedia, the authoritative reference database for comics artists and their work. Racer X is not a later addition. He is not a retcon. He is not something the writers invented to keep a subplot alive longer than it deserved. He is the premise. Yoshida's original design placed a masked, older figure at the edge of Speed's world, someone carrying a view of the whole picture that Speed does not have, cannot have, and will not be given. That asymmetry, one person who knows everything, one person who knows nothing, and the gap between them measured in near misses and narrow survivals, is the engine Yoshida built in 1966 and never turned off. Now lay out the equation. What Racer X knows, at the moment he re-enters Speed's life, he knows who Speed is. He knows what Speed doesn't know. He knows the racing world Speed is entering because he entered it first, and it cost him everything. He has a full category for what Speed is about to encounter. Speed doesn't have that category yet. Speed has talent and enthusiasm and a family that has built its identity around the idea that honest racing is possible. Those are not sufficient defenses against what is actually out there. If you know that, if you have that specific knowledge and Speed doesn't, what does it logically require of you? It requires that you stay close enough to intervene. It requires that the intervention be operational, not fraternal, not based on a revealed identity that can be used as leverage against both of you. Because if Speed knows Racer X is Rex, Speed changes how he behaves. He acts differently in races where Rex is present. He mentions it. His family finds out. And the moment Rex's cover is compromised, every criminal organization he has ever worked against has a direct line to the people Speed loves. The cover is not ego. It is a security protocol, and it protects Speed as much as it protects Rex. Peter Fernandez, who served as both the English-language scriptwriter and the voice of Racer X in the original American adaptation, a dual role documented in his Wikipedia biography, built this logic into every line he wrote, and then spoke those same lines into a microphone. When Racer X tells Speed, "I am your enemy," the man writing that line is the man delivering it. He knew what the wall was protecting. He built it himself, and then stood on both sides of it simultaneously. The voice that says, "I'm your enemy," is the same voice that decided what that claim was designed to cost. He built the information gap as a structural feature, not an emotional decision. The way you build a fire break, not because you want the forest to burn on one side, but because the fire is already coming, and you are choosing which side of it the people you love are standing on. What that voice knows, and what it is withholding, if Speed ever finds out the truth, the operational barrier between Speed and everyone who wants Rex dead disappears entirely. The protection mechanism only functions as long as Speed doesn't know he needs protecting. The moment he knows, it stops working. That is the logic. Follow it forward.
The dynamite won't hurt you now. Those men will do anything to win.
How did you know where you could find us, Racer?
Before any of this, before the mask, the mission, the intelligence work, the years of running the circuit border between protection and total disappearance, there is a family. Pop's Racer, Rex, a car that wasn't supposed to be there. The documented origin, confirmed in both the original Mach Go 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 manga and the anime series, is this. Rex wanted to race using a car built by a competitor of the family's sponsor. Pops saw it as a betrayal. That is the entire wound. Not crime, not cowardice, not abandonment in any clean sense. A car. A disagreement about a car and what it represented and what the family owed to the people who had supported it and what a son owed to a father who had built everything on a particular understanding of loyalty. Rex does not win that argument. But he doesn't simply lose it either. He leaves. Not because he's thrown out. Not because he has done something unforgivable in any objective sense. He leaves because he can see, with the specific clarity that comes to someone standing in the middle of a family rupture, that staying means the argument continues indefinitely. Staying means the wound keeps opening. Staying means the question of the car and what it represents about who Rex is and what he owes and what he wants becomes the permanent geography of that house. He decides that his absence is survivable. His presence, in that form, under those conditions, is not. That is the moment. Because what Rex is doing, right there, is a version of the same calculation he will make for the rest of his life. The same arithmetic, run again and again. Someone I love will be hurt if I stay. The wound of my absence is real, but it's a wound they can recover from. The wound of my presence, in this form, in these conditions, is worse. He is not wrong about the arithmetic. He is catastrophically wrong about the variable he isn't measuring. Speed is there. Speed is younger. Speed watches his brother leave, watches the grief that follows, watches his father carry something he won't name out loud, year after year. And Speed decides what he wants to be. Rex. He wants to be Rex. He wants to drive the way Rex drove. He wants to recover the thing the family lost when Rex walked out that door, and the only way he knows how to chase it is on the track, in the same world, on the same circuits, looking for his brother in every race he enters. The protection mechanism is already creating the exact vulnerability it was designed to prevent. And then there is Pops. Pops Racer, in the original continuity, believes Rex is simply gone, believes the grief is the whole story, carries it through every episode, visible to anyone who looks closely, never resolved, never released. And Rex is right there, sometimes 50 yards away, in the same race. Behind the mask, watching his father's family compete, watching his brother grow into the driver he always knew Speed would be. He decided the grief of his family was survivable. He was right about that. He never accounted for having to watch it from a distance, race after race, year after year. Close enough to intervene, never close enough to speak.
The same man who offered Pops a lot of money if you'll join the Alpha team for the big race.
Beat 4, when they were proven right.
For what they did, I'm more interested in getting back to the race part. That would be the worst thing.
In the 2008 Wachowski film, Speed Racer is recruited by Royalton Industries. This is the specific moment Rex Racer spent his entire career trying to prevent, and Speed walks straight into it, because no one ever told him what was waiting. Royalton Industries, as the film documents and TV tropes confirms in its plot summary, is a corporate cartel that controls professional racing outcomes. Fixed races, blacklisted drivers, competitors eliminated, professionally, and in Rex's case, in ways the film strongly implies were deliberately arranged. The system is not corrupt around the edges, it is corrupt at the foundation. The races are not competitions, they are performances with predetermined conclusions, and the drivers who refuse to participate in those performances are the ones who don't make it home. Rex knew this. Rex knew it because he was inside it. He refused it. And in the film's continuity, he died for that refusal, in a crash the narrative frames as the direct consequence of crossing Royalton. Speed does not know any of this when Royalton makes his pitch. He has no category for it. He's a young driver from a family team with no corporate backing, and a massive industrial organization is offering him everything his talent deserves. He doesn't know the offer is a cage. He doesn't know that accepting means consenting to outcomes he didn't choose and can't influence. He doesn't know that the only drivers who succeed cleanly inside this system are the ones Royalton decides should succeed. He almost takes it. And then he doesn't, and Royalton dismantles his career in retaliation. And Speed finally enters the world Rex has been living in for years. The world where the sport you love is a mechanism for something uglier, and the people running it are not competing, they're controlling. Rex was right about all of it. Every race he showed up to uninvited, every criminal syndicate he tracked, every time he positioned himself in Speed's race without explanation, without acknowledgement, without credit. He was right about what professional motorsport actually was, and he was right about what it would do to Speed when Speed finally walked into it without someone to tell him what to watch for. Here is the specific machinery of that irony. Rex maintained an information gap around Speed, deliberately, operationally, because he judged Speed's ignorance to be protection. Meanwhile, what Racer X's intelligence work was actually doing over all those years was clearing the track, dismantling the fixing apparatus race by race, making it possible for one event, the Grand Prix at the end of the film, to be run cleanly, on merit, by drivers who chose to be there.
The Around the World Grand Prix will start in California. The race will begin across the United States, Miami, then head south, across the Amazon, then traverse South America to the Andes, and go through Chile, all the way to Africa to the Mediterranean, then northward through Europe, the British Isles, eastward again, all the way across Russia and Siberia, and finally to finish in Tokyo, Japan.
That made it possible. Rex does not get to see it as Rex. He watches it as Racer X. Behind the mask, at the edge of the frame, exactly where he has always been.
It may be the moment.
Beat 5, the verdict. Here is what the record establishes. This is not inference. It is the authored architecture of the property, confirmed in Yoshida's documented creative record and carried through every adaptation that followed. Rex Racer identified a corrupt system before Speed ever had to encounter it. He refused to serve it. He paid for that refusal, in the film's continuity, with his life. He returned, under a cover identity, in a role that gave him operational reach, and spent years running toward every race that posed a threat to his brother. He maintained a cover that cost him his name, his family relationship, and in the 2008 film, his original face. The surgical alteration documented in the TV Tropes entry is not a minor plot detail. It is the literalization of his commitment. He made the sacrifice permanent, inscribed it in his own body, so that sentiment could never accidentally undo what he had built. A man who constructs that level of operational discipline around protecting one person is not careless. He is not abandoning anyone. He is running the most sustained, costly, and deliberately invisible protection operation in the entire history of this property. Alone, without acknowledgement, in races where the person he is protecting is actively trying to beat him. The corrupt world Rex refused came for Speed anyway. Rex's work is what dismantled it. Speed's clean victory exists because Rex cleared the track before the race was run. The case for was right is that well documented. Now here is what the defense cannot close. Rex left to prevent his family from fracturing further, but his absence is the reason Speed became a racer at all. Speed idolized the lost brother, inherited the legend, and drove straight into the same world that had already killed Rex. Not despite Rex's departure, but because of it. The act meant to protect the family created the motivation that put Speed directly in the path of everything Rex feared. And then Rex maintained an information blackout, judging Speed's ignorance to be protection, while Speed, carrying no knowledge of what professional racing actually was, nearly signed a contract with the cartel that had already destroyed Rex's career. The specific knowledge Rex withheld, "This world is fixed and it will try to own you," is precisely the knowledge whose absence made Speed vulnerable to the exact threat Rex had spent years fighting. TV Tropes documents this arc in the 2008 film explicitly. The suppression designed to protect Speed was the suppression that nearly ended him. Rex was right about the world. He may have been wrong about the mechanism. He built a wall to keep Speed out of the danger zone. The wall became a legend. The legend became Speed's entire reason for entering the danger zone. And once Speed was inside, the wall blocked the only information that could have kept him safe there. Two facts, both verified, both true at the same time. The tribunal is open. Here is the question on the docket. Did Rex Racer's method of protection, the silence, the distance, the mask, make the thing he feared not just possible, but inevitable? Rex Racer gave his name, his face, and every race he could have won to a brother who never knew he was at the wheel. They called him a masked rival. They called him a mystery. What this story keeps returning to is whether the silence was protection or whether the silence was the wound, and whether, by the time Speed crossed that finish line clean, it was already too late to tell the difference. The next case is already on the docket,